Hello and welcome to PDFsupply.com. Today we're going to be testing an Allen Bradley PLC-5 processor. I have here an L60L. What I'm going to be doing is testing through channel 0 using the RS-232 connection. And my main objective here is to get the processor into run mode and keep it in run mode and check for any faults or errors. It's being powered by a 1771 P4S power supply, and the rack I'm using is a 1771 A1B 4-slot chassis. You can use any chassis that you want. You can use a larger chassis. I just happen to be using this one because the test is simply on the processor, not on any other I/O modules. So the first thing that I want to do after I've powered it up and it's lit up and connected is I want to open my RS Links Classic Lite. This software again is the software that goes between the computer and the processor and provides a communication path, and it allows you to sort through different drivers. So once I've got the RS Links Classic Lite up, I'm going to click on my Configure Drivers button, which is the squiggly line with two connections at each end. Click on that. If you haven't already selected a driver, you can click on the drop-down menu that says Available Driver Types. In my particular case, it's AB_DF1-1. And it's running right now. So that's the RS-232 DF1 that I'm using. Next, I'm going to go to the Configure button, or you can even double click on the bar where it shows the driver running. And I'm going to select Auto Configure. But before I do that, I want to make sure that the COM port that's suggested in this configuration window that's popped open in the top left corner, that I'm working with the proper COM port. For me, it's COM port 1. So I'm going to hit Auto Configure. And any changes that need to be made with baud rate, parity, stop bits, device type, that sort of thing will automatically be sorted out. That's what the auto configure is. We call it a cheat button. And once the configuration is successful, I'm going to select OK, and that window will go away. And I'm going to close my configure drivers. And I'm going to keep open my RS Links Classic Lite, but I'm going to reduce it to make room for my RS Logix 5 screen. So the next thing I'm going to open up, of course, is the RS Logix 5. In the top left-hand corner, I'm going to select File. And then below File, New. The platform that I'm using for this particular processor is Enhanced. This is going from left to right. The processor type is a PLC-5 60L. Now, if you don't know the series or the revision, if it's already powered up in the rack, you don't have to really worry about that. If you know what it is, you can employ it under series and firmware revision. But if you're wrong, or if you don't know it, the Logix 5 will figure it out for you. So it's okay if you don't have that filled in. I'm going to select OK. The next thing I'm going to do, a couple things that you could look into here. Under channel configuration on the left-hand side, under your, like a navigator bar, the untitled project bar, is channel configuration. If you want, at this point, you can go to channel 0 and you can select a faster baud rate. You can go up to 19,200, 19.2K baud rate and communicate quicker, and this process will go faster. For this particular test, I'm just going to stick with the default 2400. And next thing I want to do is open up where it says Offline in the top left-hand corner of the screen. And the drop-down menu will give you some selections. Go online, online now, download, partial download. I'm going to go with download. And I'm not particularly downloading anything. This is just a blank file, and this is what's going to get the processor into run mode. Alright, so once I've selected download, you're going to start to get some screens that are going to pop open asking you about changing the name of this particular file or project. The first one that popped open is correcting me on my revision and series. And it's going to ask me if I want to resize my data tables. I'm going to say yes. This is what I was describing before about how RSLogix 5 will correct anything if you don't have it right. Okay, now it's downloading. Once the downloading is complete, should be in just a second here, it's going to ask you if you want to name this file. So this isn't really a project, this is just, again, solely testing this processor. So I'm going to just call it PLC-5 underscore 60 L test. Feel free to name it anything you want. This is just a test. And then once you've named it and it's accepted it, that top left hand corner that did say offline currently should say program. If there's anything that you've done wrong, it's going to actually fault out, and then you'll have to go to find out what the fault is. But in this particular case, it's pretty simple what I've done, and I can go into run mode now using the key. This puts me into remote program, the first click. The second click puts me into hard run, and then I'm going to go back one and just leave it in remote run. It's not really necessary to be in hard run. The processor is still running, and that's the goal here. So now that I've got it in run mode, I'm going to go to processor status on the left hand side, double click on that, and to the right hand side on these, a window will open with a bunch of tabs at the top. The tab I want to open is errors, and what I could do is go to errors, see if there's any major error codes, any problems with the processor. Again, if this is a processor you're testing because you think there might be something wrong with it, there might be information here that's useful. If it's a minor error or it has an error, something to do with when you've just recently reconfigured it, you could hit clear errors. And you can also scroll to the right where it says processor warnings, program warnings, channel warnings. See if everything's the way it should be, which is no errors or faults. Alright, and if you're satisfied with that and you don't have any problem, the next thing that I would recommend doing is just to leave this running for a few days, 2-3 days, maybe over a weekend, and perhaps create a situation where there's increased heat. You can place some modules in the rack. You could cover up the bottom with plastic or cardboard and cover up the top, just to put the processor under a little bit more load, a little bit more strain. Leave it running for a few days, and what you're trying to do there is to see if there's an issue with it that's making it kick itself out of run mode or not work or shut down. Now, so if you do have a problem that is a little bit more major, out of your scope of how much you want to deal with, this is something that we do repair here quite regularly. And we offer exchange programs, new and remanufactured products, and same-day shipping. So if that's something that interests you or you need, please see us at pdfsupply.com. Thank you.